not at the level of stats just right now. But we could definitely see him take this match. It's definitely possible. So far, he's 0-0 versus Protoss, so this will be his first Protoss that he's playing, but he's only 1-4 so far for Pro League 2014.
Yeah, this is a really important match for him as well to prove himself in his career, because he, like many CJ Entus players, have been doing terribly just recently, so this is a chance for him to prove himself. He's up against Stats, though, somebody who is really, really good. We just watched him recently play a lot of pretty sick Protoss versus Zergs in Code S around 32. So
yeah, and he's got to be happy that he's going up against another Zerg here, having a lot of practice there and playing it even in the booth. He's got to be very practiced, very ready for this game. You guys saw he is 3-1 so far in Pro League against Zergs.
Well, Habitation Station is our map. We could see Stats try to play a little bit of sneaky build, try to take a fast gold base, get ahead. We've seen that a lot, actually, and don't really see Zerg players do that too much in this matchup. It's a bit too risky. See what effOrt has in mind, though. This could be our final map in this series. If effOrt takes the win here, find out if Stats is going to bring us to that 4th game.
Up here in the top left, in the yellow for CJ Entus, Zerg player. If he wins this match against Stats, he will bring the 3-0 to CJ Entus. It's effOrt.
And his opponent to the top right in red, KT Rolster, it's Stats. And most people would say he's got a pretty good chance of winning this one. Just has to keep his wits about him, because he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now, because if he loses, if he messes up too, then his whole team loses 0-3. And so he has to win. The next player who plays has to win too, but when you're in a position where you didn't expect this to be the type of game you were going to be playing, it can get into your head a little bit.
Yeah, definitely well said.
What is that?
Here they come.
That's Stats' name.
Stats. Shot.
No.
Good jam. Not sure what that is, but
yeah,
cheer for Stats. He is their last hope, like you said. He was probably expecting to be in this position and to be like, okay, I just got to win one more, maybe for the 3-0, or just, to bring it to that 4th match. That's probably the position he was expecting to be in, but now, like you mentioned, down 0-2, there's a lot of pressure on this player right now. He's definitely confident in himself. He's doing well so far. Look at this. Actually going for the gold base versus effOrt, taking a bit of an economic greedy play.
I wonder if he's going to do a roach push with this. Talked about this like a little bit yesterday, about how in Wings of Liberty on certain maps had gold bases that were a little bit oddly placed, like on Crossfire, for example. Sometimes you'd see a Zerg player go and take that base first and use it as a rallying point for his roaches because it's closer, and because you have those extra gold minerals there, you can actually get the extra minerals. Look at those drawings. Those are Cacao Talk emoticons.
If they actually drew those emoticons, I am very impressed.
They might be artists.
They could be artists. They could be dancers. We're still not sure. We're still trying to figure it out.
Is he just going to deny the gold? I was like, he's not going to take 2 gold bases, right?
That would be just insane, man.
But as I was saying before, if you get those extra minerals, it's a lot easier to do roach pressure plays. So it doesn't look like that's exactly what he's going to be doing here, because he's taking a 3rd base. So he's just playing a standard 3-base play with the hatchery first at the gold.
Yep. Stats does find the drone of effOrt trying to block this base. effOrt, though, does get the information that he's going for that base, so he's going to know.
Would have actually been incredible for him if he got that hatch down. I would have delayed the Nexus so much, because then he would have to go to the natural, which would have been the Sentinel's probe more, longer time to go over there. They would have already lost, mining time, plus the Nexus would be even further delayed. I'm going to send a few Zerlings across the map now, and his natural is complete, or his, let's call his gold natural. His gold natural is complete. His
first base he put down.
Yeah, because it's not his natural expansion. It's just the first expansion that he took.
Yeah. And if you hold that watchtower, you can see actually the workers mining at the base, so you can know if it's up or not, or at least if there's workers there. Puts a nice little wall over here, stats to defend at that base. No Zergling run by is going to come through there.
Yeah. Not like in Code A where we saw slow Zerglings walking there. We were like, what? But it was a while ago now. And as long as he, makes sure he defends this gold base well, he's going to get a huge boost in income. But it's kind of, in a way, counteracted by the fact that effOrt also has that on his side as well. So I wonder what sort of style we're going to see out of effOrt, because so far he's basically just been showing us that he's going to take those extra minerals and put them all into drones, and he's drone out heavily, taking his gases extremely late.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got his gases so late. He has not made anything for Army besides those 4 Zerglings. And, of course, the Queen, I guess you can call them. There goes the Roach Warren.
Yeah. He could still try to hit a Roach aggressive timing to hit that very, very nearby base of stats, his own gold base. We've seen this happen a few times already in televised matches. Overlord looks like it was finally repelled by those sentries, and the Forge has started. He's got a few more drones coming in here, and he's actually having to make 3 Overlords because he's supply blocked after that Overlord death. 4 even. 5. With 5, I think we were going to see Roaches.
Yeah, he wants to get all these Overlords out now, so he has a big gap here to make as many units as he wants to get up to that gap. Fill that gap, I should say. Looks like Stats is moving in to take that 3rd base right now.
Yeah. Zergling wants to deny and actually will be successful. That probe alone is not going to be able to push him back. He's going to have to send something, and all of his army is moving across the map right now. Spines are going up as effOrt is starting to realize, oh, you're actually trying to hit me first. And he needs more time to get those Roaches out. His Roach one was a bit late.
Yeah, 7 Roaches right now coming out. He still has a lot of supply here, but not enough gas. Looks like he wants to continue going with that. He adds 5 more drones as well. That attack out of Stats didn't actually go down. He just went out to the watchtower and came back. Wants to defend at his 3rd base.
Yeah, he poked a little bit. He forced a lot of Roaches to be made. I thought effOrt might actually try to attack with them before that, but he's just actually droning up additionally, getting that layer so he can get his Roach speed. And even starts now a 4th base down to the bottom left. So he's going to have a lot of larvae. He's going to have a lot of production very soon. He's added the infestation pit now. And he's teching up quite nicely here.
He's getting the tech. He's just had a lot of time to sit back and drone up and get this going. I mean, he's going to have a really sick economy once that 4th base goes down as well. And so far, Stats hasn't done much to, pressure him and put much, put much fear into the heart of effOrt. I mean, he did force effOrt to make a bunch of Roaches at that time, but besides that, not much.
He looks scared almost. He made a ton of cannons at his gold base. He went back with those sentries, used those defensively up at his natural, and did not attack or really commit anymore. Almost to be scared there was going to be an overwhelming amount of units to meet him. He's now getting the double upgrades, but importantly to note, he's getting the range or the melee upgrade, not the range upgrade. So his Roaches aren't going to benefit from that, only his Zerglings.
Yeah, interesting there. What do you think he's trying to go with that?
Well, I mean, it may be that later on he wants to go into Mutiling, but it becomes an even stranger choice as we see the Locust upgrade being researched right now when Stormhost started, because the melee is, of course, not going to be helpful for those units.
Yeah, very interesting decision so far. Could be a mistake. We're not sure just yet. So far, effOrt is on the map with his army. He hasn't gone to the front of the base, though. I think he was just checking to see maybe if there was a 4th going down.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this. I mean, he does have a few Zerglings that are going to benefit from this, but it just feels like the range would be the better choice. A bunch of gates being added right now for Stats. He's gearing up. He knows that he needs that AoE damage out, so he's making a 2nd Robotics as well as that Bay. And he will scout the Swarm Host, actually, with these Phoenixes. So he knows what he's up against, and then he needs AoE damage ASAP. He's also cut probe production at 63 for now.
Yeah, stop it at 63 for your 3 bases. He's got the double robo, like you mentioned, getting those 2 Colossi up really, really quickly. He had a ton of buildings over there. He was powering up really, really quickly. Both these players just being pretty passive so far, just building up their economies, getting the tech that they need in order to combat their armies together.
Yeah. Well, that Overseer barely not getting away. Blink not even necessary there to kill it. The Spire is now on the way. And he's going up to a lot of Swarm hosts. I think he's now going up to like 10 or so, I would say. So that's a ton of damage that he can put out there. And another Swarm host crawling over there, waddling over. A lot of good creep spread here as well, so this forces the Protoss army to be out away from home a little bit.
Yeah, that creep is basically really close up to there. That was a nice try at a pickoff on that one Colossi. Gets it pretty low. The Locusts are continuing to come in here.
Yeah, that was really nicely done. Stats has to be very careful with his army right now. It's very expensive, very difficult to replace. And, you know, especially against free units, you don't want to trade like that. So he's got himself kind of caught in an awkward position. And if effOrt could actually just move a little bit further forward, he's going to make it difficult for Stats to take a 4th base.
Yeah, he's gonna need to re-rally those Locusts. He could actually start hitting at the front. They do have enough time to get up there.
Yeah, sometimes we see misrallies with those that don't get noticed for a while. Colossi need to get away. They need some support. It's taking a few hits of damage, but doesn't like a lot of damage done.
And in the meantime, for effOrt, he is getting that pathogen glands. He is possibly going to get some of those infestors as well. He has 10 corruptors on the way as well. There's the Warp Prism speed upgrade as well.
You know, the addition of 2 Warp Prisms is going to be pretty nice for Stats because he's going to be able to attack multiple locations at once while his opponent's very immobile army of the Swarm hosts that need to be babysat by corruptors are going to they're not going to be able to defend. He's going to need more at home. He's going to need to keep some roaches or some zerlings or both at his bases, or he's going to start losing tech. He's going to get focused down by Zealot Warpens.
Yeah, it's a really nice thing you can do as the Protoss when you get a lot of these gateways on 3 bases. It looks like effOrt's going to go for the attack here. Pretty nice force fields are going down. These Colossi, though, are taking a lot of hits from the Corruptors.
Yeah, he's actually trying to break his way through here, but is it enough? He's losing a lot here. All the Colossi are starting to fall. The Stalkers actually blink away here. He loses his last Colossus. And, uh-oh, KT Rolster fans, hold on to your seats. This game isn't over yet, but not looking good. The Warp Prism is completely shut down by 4 Spore Crawlers. 4 of them.
effOrt is playing so well right now. He's just taking control of this game over Stats. I mean, Stats a kind of lackluster attack there. And he lost so many Colossi. He's trying to build 2 at the same time right now, as well as 3 Stargates to deal with this, getting the +1 to air attack as well. But they're getting
on the
bungles.
Stalkers, and now he's losing so many of them to free units again. And the Zealot run by over here. The Warp Prism somehow found a sweet spot. It looks like he's going to get the Zealots into the best place possible to fight the Zerlings, but he will eventually be cleaned up there. And the triple Stargate that we see Stats adding right now doesn't really feel like something he can support anymore, because he needs to rebuild his ground army first. He doesn't even have a mineral bank right now. I don't know where he's warping in those 7 Zealots. I can only assume harassing one of these bases, maybe to the bottom left.
No, it looks like he's doing it in the main again. Yep, there it is. This is going to be really annoying, actually, for effOrt. He's going to have to clean this up. He's sending, you know, mostly only Zerglings to go deal with that, because they are fast and they can get up there, but those Zealots are going to trade efficiently still. These Swarm hosts have gone so far across the map, like, this is going to even start pressuring at that 4th base.
Yeah. Stats is desperately trying to switch into Void Rays, you know, off 3 Stargates to make sure that he can deal with the Corruptors. And also Void Rays do decently well against Locusts because, I mean, they just cannot be attacked by them. So if you have Void Rays out there to do a few extra hits, you know that you're not going to start trading for free units. The Locusts are not going to trade their free bodies for your their Void Ray. So I'm trying to get out here.
Spore Prism is back here again, taking some damage. Has to get away. Yep, just get away. He does reposition, but he gets those Zealots up. Could actually focus down the Greater Spire.
Yeah, he's going to kill the Warp Prism, but that's not the most important part here. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to save this. I don't think he can.
It's a really good position here for the Zealots, and they have really good upgrades here. Looks like they're trading really efficiently. It's so close.
Oh
Is he
my
gonna
God! 7 hit points on the Greater Spire, and he begins to transfuse. It will complete. He even started a 2nd Spire because he wasn't sure if that was going to hold. Whoa.
Oh, man. And after that gets completed, he makes 10 Broodlords.
10 of them. That's almost too many because the Void Ray count is starting to get pretty high here. Yep. This is looking like, I mean, Stats is not out of this game yet, but he needs to make sure he doesn't lose his army any way, possible. Whatever it takes, just make sure he does not lose those Colossi that are very expensive, lose those Void Rays. Way too many Broodlords for the Stalker to handle, and if he had been hit by that Fungal, he would have lost every single one of them.
Yeah, the thing about Stats' position right now is that he just cannot make any mistakes. If he makes any more mistakes, he loses a lot of his Colossi. effOrt just has too much stuff here. He has 5 bases up and running. He has so much good tech. And if he wins a really good engagement here, it could actually take out Stats. Stats is going to warp in again. He's going to try to focus down the Spear Spire. I think he could get it this time.
I think he might. Yeah, he will. No static defense. Stats finding that weak spot again. And effOrt, I feel, having maybe a bit too much faith in the Spores that are on the edge of his base. There's not a lot of dead space. That's why the Spores are a great choice, because the Warp Prism can't really avoid them on their way around, but still it has enough hit points to make its way through. And now he's even going to start to lose drones. This is a great choice by Stats because he knows just how vulnerable effOrt really is, because his army is so immobile. And he's even going to start killing these Spore Crawlers and the second Spire.
Yeah, effOrt's going to have to go back and deal with that at some point. He's not dealing with it too well so far, and it looks like he wants to go for the attack. The Broodlord's moving into position here. If he gets really nice Fungals onto this whole Protoss army, it could be deadly.
Yep, he needs those Fungals, and here we go. The Infestor's getting dangerously close. There are some high tempo, though, when he realizes this, he gets back. And the Tempest, if they can get some good shots off on the Broodlords, can be quite deadly. And he needs to just be as cost efficient as possible here against all these free units that are being thrown at him. The Locusts, the Broodlings. Mothership on the way. It's going to help him defensively as well. And I wonder if really what effOrt needs to think about here is getting some Vipers into his composition to start getting some yanks off.
Yeah, could definitely be good. For now, though, he's going to try to go for this Zergling run-by. Does take out a cannon. This one sad Roach does go down as well.
That one sad Roach, man.
Incredibly sad. Mothership Core being made right now.
Yeah, he's...
Or not Mothership Core, Mothership.
Right. He's going to send a lot of Stalkers over here to help out this attack. And again, he's trying to abuse the immobility of this very slow, very powerful Zerg army. 2 Spires are being made right now to replace the lost ones. He doesn't need any more air units right now immediately, but he will need them eventually if they start to get picked off. These Stalkers may find themselves trapped, actually. But again, he's pushing the Zerg player off of his back while he takes now a 5th base to the bottom right.
This is just something that Protoss players always love to do against Zergs. When it comes to this later game, they can just, with these super upgraded Zealots, they can just warp in so many at the many bases of the Zerg and do a lot of damage and force the Zerg to come back, buy a lot of time for them to get that Protoss death ball up, which he's doing pretty nicely so far. He has a ton of gas saved up, actually.
I wonder what the Mothership is going to be used for, because if he just uses it defensively, I feel like that's almost the best role for it, because it's so difficult to actually be aggressive with that and move around with your army. It does help you against the Locust, but it's so hard to make sure that your Mothership is actually on top of your units when the Locusts attack. And he is gonna bring it with his army, so we'll see how much he can actually get done here.
Yeah, looked like he was trying to move out a little bit, but then decides to pull back. Not going for it just yet. He has 2 Tempests on the way right now. Maybe he wants to add that to his army first. Gets a nice Fungal onto that Observer.
Yeah, good catch there. +2 weapons for air now on the way. Very late, but will eventually come into play. Will even help out the Mothership. Mothership doesn't do a lot of damage, but anything helps. And his Tempests are really what's important for it, as Void Rays also. With all the gas that effOrt has here, the question becomes really, what is he going to remax with? Because remaxing with Mutalisk actually wouldn't be a terrible choice with the lack of anti-air. There's only 7 Void Rays, 5 Tempests, and 3 Archons for anti-air. If he suddenly has 30 Mutas, then that's a big problem.
Yeah, that would be a huge problem for him. He could even use those Mutas to go in and snipe a bunch of tech structures. All of those cannons go down. Cancelled.
Yeah, he's actually still doing damage here with a few Zealots in the main base. And, a lot of people are probably wondering at home, like, why is effOrt not making more static defense? Well, he has a lot made already, but he needs it where it is, and he also doesn't have a mineral bank right now as much as he has the gas bank, and he wants to build those minerals up because he's being harassed so much. It's hard for him to get minerals to make static defenses.
Yeah. It's never as easy as it looks. You can always say, oh, well, he needs this, he needs to make this, but a lot of the time the players know that, but they just can't afford it right now. Something else is more important.
Just reinforcing this creep quite a bit right now, making it a little bit thicker. And, you know, if he could get some really good fungals, that would be awesome. It's just against this many Tempest, the High Templar, and all these cloak units, it's hard to actually fungal properly. Yeah. Now we're starting to see Vipers being added into the mix.
Yeah, I was about to say what you were saying before about getting those Vipers. I feel like it would be really nice against this army.
Looks like he only has one right now. Although for some reason it's like not even showing up on the unit tab. We did see a Viper just then. I'm pretty sure
that was a Viper. Like, we're not crazy, and it was on the unit tab before.
Okay, so it must have gotten picked off by a feedback because there was a High Templar heading that direction.
Another Warp Prison making its way in. This this has been like really good for stats so far. All of this harass. Seems like effOrt has learned though and has made Spore Crawlers in better places there.
I feel like if he makes just like twice as many Spore Crawlers, and then it's not gonna get through ever because there's no space. But then I guess he could find another way to get through perhaps. Oh, this is cool. I always wondered why we didn't see this enough in this matchup, where you're just like, all right, without my Void Rays, I don't think you could still attack my army, and your Corruptors are out of position. I'm going to kill anything I can find in the main base. When the Corruptors get here, I don't think he quite has enough to fight them, though. Yeah. I don't know. Void Rays are pretty strong, though. We'll see.
They are very strong. They do power up right now, and they are just going to fight this without running. It seems like effOrt isn't confident enough. It's a fungal!
And, oh no, this is quite expensive here for stats. He's going to lose every single one of those Void Rays now. But I think the decision to stay was too risky. Uh-oh, he's closing the gap, though, while the Infestors are at home. He is still moving in here, getting some good feedbacks. There goes the Storm on the Locust. Can he close the distance on those Swarmos? It doesn't look like it because he's running away here.
Yeah, effOrt is able to push back now. Infestors are back here as well. Stats going for a really strong push right now.
People watching that Definitely Miwa video, what is with this triple Oracle production? It's going to give him a lot of vision. I don't think he's going to want to max out in Oracles, though. Yeah, okay, so he's just going to have these for Harass and also for Vision. Usually you only have one or two, but 3 is, for him, I guess, the magic number.
3 is good as well.
He can reveal, you know, and he can also clear up creep with it. Multi-purpose unit. It's also got a really cool dance animation. Don't think that's going to be relevant in this game, but
could also use it for emergency vision in case the Observer goes down. Ton of Overseers in that army.
Yeah, it's true. We'll see what he decides to do. I think he's just going to go over there and tag the whole army. I think that's what just happened. I see the red flashing on all those units. You guys didn't see it, but I did. Oh, there it is. Just making sure that his Tempests have vision at all times. And also he has a pretty good idea of how many Corruptors are where. Because if he wants to do another Void Ray tactic like we saw before, he's going to be able to identify exactly where the Corruptors are much earlier if they're tagged.
One thing, you know, we were talking about this before back at effOrt's bases, but one thing I'd love to see actually would be more static defense out here on the creep. Just make it even harder for stats to come across. I mean, he's building up that mineral bank. I guess he wants to save it for the Remax, but it could be very helpful in defending against this.
Feedbacks make it a little bit easier to kill those, or rather the vision gives them a little easier feedbacks, but grabs the Mothership. Goodbye, Mothership.
Gets all those High Templars as well. Loses some Infestors for it, but...
Yeah, killing those High Templars is pretty huge, but look at the gas bank for stats as well now. It's starting to get quite high. He's even got a mineral bank to join it.
Very nice micro out of effOrt. Pulling one Tempest, sniping it, and moving back. Did get stormed, but wasn't on it for long. Another Viper coming out here.
Making a few more Oracles. We've seen stats do this before where he just maxes out in Tempest basically when it was a totally different circumstance, but when you get enough Tempest out, it's basically impossible for the Zerg to win fights. But he's mixing up the composition quite a bit, adding in those additional Motherships, for example, making sure he always has Oracles for tags. And those static defenses you're talking about, he's moving them forward, making it a little bit more difficult for the air army to breathe here.
Yeah, he's slowly moving it forward. He was able to snipe that Observer as well. Broodlord's moving into position here.
Yeah, this is pretty nasty, man. He's got a really good position here. Stats has a lot of range damage, but he needs tags to be able to utilize it.
Yeah, it seemed like effOrt was trying to move into position with the Broodlords, but like you said, with so many Tempests, just able to snipe a Broodlord at once, it's hard to deal with.
Now there's a tag, really nicely done. Catches an Archon or two, though. It looks like they might start to go down here to the Locust. I think what he would love to do is just grab a fungal or two on those probes. He just is not able to get close enough with all that range damage out of the Protoss. And he's not mining that gas, as the observer is pointing out here. But to be frank, when he has 4,500 gas right now, I guess he's okay with that.
Yeah, for now. Maybe he wants to save it for a little bit later. These probes suiciding. He wants to clear up some supply for army units.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to make 2 observers, first of all. And another warp prism being made as well. This game is going to go on like this for a while. I'm not sure who's going to end up taking it, though, because... Ooh, a neural parasite research. We do not see this upgrade very often at all.
Definitely do not. More pulls, gets the mothership, and a nice fungal. It's going to go down again. Immediately another mothership core being started.
If he can neural parasite the mothership and time warp the Protoss army, he might be able to chase it down with some fungals. That's just an idea.
That is like really technical, but
yeah, I mean that's like insanely
really cool.
technical. But nobody ever thought that a Zerg player would be able to neural a mothership and vortex a Protoss army. But we've seen that before too. So
that's true.
That James Bond infester is on a mission. We'll see if he can snipe the observers, make it difficult for the detection to see the infestors. I don't know. I mean, that's just something to consider. I don't think it's going to be like the game-deciding upgrade that he gets here.
Moved his Corruptors forwards, takes some damage, and got some more Broodlings on the ground. Nice little Taxus there going back and forth. Gets another Greater Spire up finally.
I mean, he's got the better bank right now. He has more of the map controlled. You know, he's the one who's controlling the map. It's not Stats who's pushing the Zerg army away. But the ratio of Tempest is getting higher and higher. And he has just enough units underneath them to defend. I want to see the unit tab. I don't know exactly how many Tempests he has. It looks like he's got about 10 or so.
Yeah, it's a lot of Tempests. He was making 3 at a time. Could be upwards of 15 even.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And he has that magic number of Colossi. I guess he would like one more. But still, a lot of Colossi here. One Oracle gets fungal.
Yeah, it's actually going to lose it, I think. Wow. Whoa.
So fun to watch those things get bungee jumped across the map.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's actually dropping some infested Terrans here. He's just trying to do anything he can to tank enough to pull these Tempests. He has a better gas bank, so if he trades even slightly inefficiently gas for gas when he does this, he's still going to be ahead at the end of the day because of that bank he has. Remember those 2 gases that he wasn't even mining earlier that he has to work with? That's going to be 5,000 more gas later.
Yeah, he's in a good position, like you said, with just trading here. But like you also said before, so many Tempests here could really pose a problem. He wants to really knock that down, but so far, all he's really done is force Stats to remake him. And if he can continue to do this, he will actually win out in that army, or that battle of banks, like we said before. Yep. This sad warp prism going to go down.
No, there's no dead airspace back there, so sorry, buddy. Who's my buddy?
Don't tell him that.
Oh, he's dead now. He's never going to hear it.
Nice fungals going down. Viper does get feedbacked.
Those poor 2 Tempests. Gonna actually keep fungling here. And there goes another Tempest. Can he get that neural? I don't think he can.
effOrt loses a bunch of supply, makes 10 more Corruptors. Really wants to keep that Corruptor count high.
Well, I mean, he's gained very little ground, but he still has a better bank. He's been able to remax with 10 additional Corruptors, 3 more Vipers. Wow, that observer almost went down to a Spore Crawler. He needs to target his Tempest if he can. You know, in order to do that, he requires vision. He blasts another Broodlord away. But I think effOrt's starting to realize, well, my Brewlers aren't really attacking, and they're just dying, so I need to keep them way back. I don't even need them to be with the rest of my Corruptors.
Looks like effOrt wants to make a play here, moving his Broodlords into position. Nice revelation, though, is going to reveal everything to stats, exactly where the whole army of effOrt is. And we've just had this back and forth over here for about 5-10 minutes now. Not much has changed.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like this for a little while, just because there's no way, there's no game-changing play that either player can make to force something to happen. The only thing that could cause one of these players to get a massive advantage is a mistake, a control mistake. These probes are following orders.
They're actually, I don't think they're going to be able to take out that queen with 3 armor. They're going to work at it, though.
I don't think so either. They're only doing 1 damage per hit. Oh, you know what? I don't know.
I'm still on the side of the queen.
I think you're right, because the damage output's getting smaller and smaller with each probe that dies.
It's going to be close, though.
You know what? He might actually get that. There's a fight going on. Meanwhile, we just lost 2 Tempests, I think. Oh, Colossus.
We were watching this queen fight these probes. Oh
my God, Brennan.
Actually...
Oh my God. Oh, he kites it. He kites that probe. Transfuses that spore crawl. He's like, no.
That queen has control of that land.
Don't you touch my spores.
She could actually be attacking those probes, but decides not to. 11 kills on that queen.
Well, this down here, I mean, he picked off a few more Protoss units. I think it's a European player, Firecake, who's provided us with a lot of matches like this in WCS Europe. Watched those a few times in the middle of the night, and I do quite enjoy them. So it's definitely a fun, funky game where it's very difficult for the Protoss to actually gain ground, but the Zerg player also has to be very careful not to make mistakes. This continues to make changelings, sends them across to the Locust. All those spies. Kills another, kills maybe 2 more.
Yeah,
saves the Brood.
2 of those Tempests. Oh, Broodling goes down. As you were saying that, he remaxes with 8 more Infestors. He got that Neural Parasite, but so far no Neurals. He's not able to get close enough, like you said before. I mean, all these Tempests, they can just knock down so many of the units of the Zerg if they get too close.
If he could time warp the Protoss army with a fungal. Oh, this is a good start. Can he chain it? So far, so good. Here we go. Going in again. No target on that Infestor. He gets another fungal. He's going to go in one more time. And he hits it, but he's losing a lot of Infestors for it. Gets another fungal off, and there's a grab on that Tempest. He gets another fungal.
He's chaining it really well so far. He's got the Corruptors in position as well. He's going to work now.
Oh my God, Brennan. He's trying to get this down. He still does not quite have enough. There's too much Psy Storm there.
Takes out the Colossi, though. He's got a lot of those units really low. He's trying to come in, but so many storms. Broodlord's moving in as well. Getting some of those Broods as well as the Locust, continuing to move this Protoss army back.
That was very expensive, and he didn't really kill those Tempests. So look at his gas bank. It's down now to the same level as the Protoss. They're both nearing 3,000. But that was expensive. He made 9 more Infestors. I think 4 more additionally now being finished, I think, are still of the same 9. And I mean, the more Infestors he has, the more infested Terrans are spawnable possible. He's also going to have more chances to get better Neurals. The longer games go, when the minerals start to get mined out on the map, the most important type of unit is an energy unit, because it's just going to be able to be so useful to you. It can spawn units for free. Well, this one Colossus is going to have a field day. 2 Colossi, I should say. The second one pops out.
His brother coming to join the fight. Using some of that extra supply to get these Zerglings. They didn't do too much damage, but he was hoping maybe he could run into the base. Nice awareness by stats to warp in that Zealot at that time.
Yeah. These Locusts are useless, essentially, against the onslaught of that Protoss army. I wonder what the Dark Shrine will actually end up being useful for, because he's not going to be able to snipe the Infestors with it, right? He's not... Well, he may not even be able to use it at all. If these Zerglings break through and he just goes in and kills it.
No, right now, actually, Stats doesn't have the supply He's actually maxed out right now, and he's going to lose units now and be able to warp in, but before he wasn't. Now these Zerglings are starting to get to work. They can take out the Dark Shrine, take down that Twilight Council as well.
Yeah, a few gates. I mean, he's just getting damage done, whereas Stats is not able to do so. Trying to get a few of those Tempests, or rather the Corruptors with this Tempest. And more Zerglings coming through.
A lot of Zerglings here, actually. A warp in by Stats in a decent position by those Zealots, but, you know, a lot of Zerglings right now getting this around over there. And the Protoss army over here, though, is moving forward. Zerglings, at the meantime, doing so much damage. I think Stats is kind of panicking here. He wants to do a lot of damage, but effOrt is just moving back.
Well, you know, I mean, his Corruptor count got obliterated there. Some really good trades. He's making 16 more, but that's his whole bank, man. And I'm kind of liking Stats' position right now because he's starting to take some really good fights, and his Tempest count is getting to be a bit crazy. That's how he likes it. That's got to be upwards of like 15 Tempests now, 18 Tempests. I'm always 3 off. Actually, did he recall some of those home to defend? It looks like he did.
Yeah, it looks like that's how they got over there. Zerglings burrow, though. Going to be safe for now.
Just killing his own Cybernetics course and get those Archons out of there.
You know, right now, if you look at effOrt's gas, he is not getting any gas right now. The only gas that's on the map for him is at that south base, and it was just taken out by the Protoss army.
Yep. And we're starting to be out of gas on the whole map, just in general right now. It's getting close. So, I mean, let's see how he engages here, because he basically has one more chance. And he's going for it. Corruptors are on attack command here, going in. He's in a good position. It's very difficult to storm, but now he finds a location. He does grab some of those, but he's not able to get a whole lot out of it. You know, maybe even grabbing a High Templar and storming the Protoss army would have been a good choice there, but he's just not able to really make it happen. And now he's got no gas bank. I think this game is essentially over, Brendan, because how is he going to be able to fight this army now? He lost way too many Corruptors. He's never going to be able to remake anything.
This is an awesome play out of Stats right now. He's playing kind of like the reality version of Protoss.
Yeah, exactly.
Just defending, and winning trades and keeping his big army alive, and all of that gas being used for effort. He has no gas right now. No gas income as well. He's long distance mining right now out of those gases at the south, and he can't make any units. He's at 127 supply.
Yeah, it's looking like, I mean, effort's like, well, I guess I'll just max out in Queens. They don't cost gas. He's just gonna watch this Protoss army get closer and closer to his structures, and then he's gonna die. The only other way he could win this game is by eliminating the Protoss buildings with Zerglings while the Protoss army is away. But the likelihood of that actually succeeding is pretty small.
Yeah, it's looking really dire here for effort. All of his Corruptors that he had, it's basically the main thing that he has in his army are at about half health. A lot of storms going down. You guys see it here.
Yeah, I mean, even knurling Archons is not really going to be the answer. What can he actually do here? He's going for those run-bys. He's even starting to run out of minerals. It's just been more cost-efficient for Stats, because those Tempests have such good range. Every time he tries to pick one off, so many Corruptors get killed by the Tempest. Once you get to that critical mass, the Tempest will kill anything. I mean, basically anything.
Yeah. effOrt went for the attack when the mothership was away after recalled at the base, but it still didn't matter. effOrt basically stayed at 200. Or not effOrt, Stats.
Yeah, Stats.
Rather. He's able to take out some buildings with these Zergling run-bys, but it's not going to matter as this Protoss army moves on the base of effOrt.
That is the saddest one Corruptor on the production tab that we have ever seen. And effOrt put up a valiant fight here, but Stats is going to kill him now. That's the reality of it. No pun intended, because there's just no way.
Yeah. effOrt's done here. He lasted for a very long time. We're going upwards of an hour now in this game. And Stats, you know, he had a lot of pressure on him, but took it to a really long game to take it down. And giving KT that chance, gonna give him a win.
Yeah, taking their very first win today. Good fumble here. Just way too much damage, and he's got storms. And there they go.
Targets down the mothership, but still, this Corruptor's taking so much damage. Trying to chain the Fungals, he's doing a decent job, but still, this army just is not going down.
He'll never kill all those Tempests. Even if you took every other non-Tempest unit and pressed the button, they all blew up, I don't think you could kill them. It's just not possible.
I think you're right.
I mean, it's just not actually possible. There's the last of the Zerglings starting to fall here. And he tries to deny mining over here. And he's going to kill some probes. That's cute, but...
Stats doesn't even care.
No, he doesn't. He's actually probably asking himself right now, like, why is he not... How is he still in this game? He doesn't know that there's no gas left, but he's like, something's wrong. You don't have enough Corruptors. Like, what's up with that? You know?
What's up with that? What's up with that, Zerg? What do you got to say? Trying to run in here and take out some more tech buildings, but Zealot's in the ready. And even if effOrt thought that could make him come back in the game, they went down as well.
Yeah. This is the end. Sorry, effOrt.
effOrt with the fantasy GG timing.
I think he's just frustrated. This is a type of game that can be very infuriating as a player, especially because you watch this and you're like trying to figure out how do you win, and it's like the answer is just not inherently obvious. You have to think about like, all right, how much bank does he have? Because I don't know how much bank he has. How much do I have? Like, when should I be trading? And how should I be trading? Should I be trading at all? That was kind of the answer that Stats said no to and just sat back. And as soon as effOrt attacked him, he was like, oh, I'm always going to better trade. I'm going to build up a better Tempest count than you. And he's shown us this very same style on this very same map just recently. And he's quite good at it.
Yeah. Like you said, when you're a player, you don't have all the information that we do when we're looking at these two players, and it's hard to sometimes make the right decisions, make the right army comp. We see effOrt in the booth; he's really frustrated.
Yeah, I thought he was about to type out there, but he's taking 6 Zerglings and 3 Queens.
He's not leaving yet.
No, he's not. He's like, I will hold this castle. He's in the top. Zerglings and like the swarm hosts.
Spine crawlers are going to attack the air. They need longer necks for that.
Got that Oracle. He told him. Or her. In this case, I guess Oracle's female voice.
Yeah. Zealot's now getting to work on the spine crawlers. They all go down.
Well, the same that we said of that extractor. Look at effOrt's face, man. He's like, he cannot come to terms with the fact that his time in this Team League match is over.
Yeah. You got to feel bad for him. Like you said, this is a very frustrating game. It's a very important match for CJ. If they actually 3-0'd KT Rolster, that would be huge for them. They still have a big chance to win after this.
Yeah, they do.
But there's got to be a lot on his mind, and he's just not ready, like you said, to come to terms with this. He's still fighting this. I guess he feels like maybe if he could win the fight, kill this army, maybe he could do something, but this looks like his last stand. He's going to come in here, try to focus down the mothership.
Yep, and he gets the mothership, but he loses everything in the process. GG, and Stats keeps the hope of KT Rolster fans alive. Very long, very drawn out Protoss versus Zerg. He's able to win. Very impressive play. I was really impressed with his handling of certain situations. Very good feedbacks on the investors, and very calm play. You know, he was always harassing with his Warp Prism. He's always trying to find a way to do damage. He killed the Greater Spire. He killed the second Spire. I don't know how many Spires he killed, but he made effOrt's main base life, defense a living hell, basically.
Yeah. There was a time somewhere in the mid game where effOrt was looking good. He was looking ahead in stats. He bought himself so much time with all of those drops, and all of that time that he used, he was using it to build up that huge Tempest army, that huge Protoss Death Ball, getting a lot of High Templars and Storm as well. Just had this huge, super expensive ball that just couldn't be killed.